My beloved child, these words have come to you at the very moment when you most need to be reminded that your silent prayers have never been forgotten. I am Michael, and I have stood beside you through many seasons when you believed you had to walk alone. Today, I ask you to pause, not because you should fear missing some hidden secret, but because your heart has gone too long without resting in the truth that you have always been seen. Perhaps you nearly turned away or allowed the busyness of life to carry you in another direction. Yet something deep within you still longed to hear the assurance that the nights you spent praying in silence were not meaningless. I heard every word, including those that never became sound, the questions you lacked the courage to speak, and the sighs you tried to conceal so that no one would know how exhausted you had become. There were days when you looked around and felt invisible. You worked so hard, yet your effort went unmentioned. You supported others, but when your own heart became weak, the room seemed empty. You offered sincerity to people who did not know how to value it. You opened your door to those who came only when they needed a place of refuge, then quietly disappeared when you began to need their presence. These experiences caused you to wonder whether your kindness still had meaning and whether continuing to do what was right was worthwhile when selfish people seemed to move forward with ease. I know this question has remained within you longer than you wish to admit. But, my child, the fact that you have not yet seen the result does not mean that the good seeds you planted have died. I have never forgotten you, not even for a single moment. When a door closed, I saw you standing before it, trying to understand what you had done wrong. When another person was praised while you were overlooked, I saw your silence and knew how deeply you struggled with the feeling that you were not enough. When a prayer appeared to rise and disappear into emptiness, I was still there, not as a distant observer, but as the one quietly keeping you from collapsing. There were moments when you believed you had risen through the last of your own strength. Yet, in truth, an unseen hand carried you across a stretch of road you did not know you could survive. You once believed that delay meant I had not answered. Yet not every answer arrives in the form you imagined. Sometimes the answer is that a person must leave so that you will no longer build your future upon instability. Sometimes an opportunity closes because you cannot yet see what lies behind it. Sometimes the answer is a long season of waiting in which you learn to stop, depending upon the approval of others. I am not saying that every painful experience is easy, or that you must pretend to be grateful for what wounded you. I only want you to understand that even within the most confusing parts of your journey, you were never abandoned. You do not need to press a button to prove that you are ready. My love is not activated by an interaction on a screen. And the goodness intended for you is not locked behind a digital action. If you want to respond to these words, respond through a real decision in your life. Stop returning to the place that continually steals your peace. Stop trying to prove your worth to those who notice you only when they need something. Allow yourself to rest. Care for your body. Reorganize your time. And listen to what you have been postponing. Readiness is not found in a hurried gesture, but in beginning to live as someone who knows they deserve respect, deserve love, and do not need to exchange their dignity in order to make anyone stay. I know you prayed for a new chapter. Yet, deep within, you were also afraid to close the old one. You wanted to move forward while continuing to look back at the doors that had already closed. You wanted to receive goodness, but former experiences taught you to expect disappointment. I do not condemn you for this. When someone has been wounded repeatedly, they often learn to distrust even what is pure. Yet a new season cannot be received with hands that remain tightly wrapped around the past. There are things you must release, not because they never mattered, but because they have completed their purpose. A memory may be beautiful without remaining a place where you should live. A person may once have been important without still being suited to walk beside you into the future. The new chapter I am opening may not begin with an event that astonishes the entire world. It may begin with a morning when you awaken and realize that you no longer want to live as you once did. Perhaps you begin saying no without feeling guilty. Perhaps a certain name no longer causes your heart to tremble. Perhaps you stop checking what others think of you and begin focusing upon what truly needs to be built. This, too, is a great transformation. When you stop giving authority to outside judgments, you will discover how wide the road before you has become. When you stop waiting for another person to apologize before allowing yourself to have peace, you have stepped out of an invisible prison. I want you to know that your name has not been forgotten among the crowd. Yet being seen does not mean that you are greater than others. It means that your journey possesses its own value, that the lessons you endured carry their own purpose, and that you do not need to measure yourself by anyone else's pace. Another person may enter a season of harvest while you are still planting, but that does not make your seed less precious. Some things need deep roots before they can rise high. Some people must move slowly so that they can learn how to preserve what they will receive. You have not been left behind. You are being prepared in a way that corresponds to the depth I have placed within you. If you look back, you will see that you are no longer the person you were years ago. You have learned to distinguish genuine care from self-serving presence. You understand that promises have no value when they are not accompanied by action. You know that kindness requires boundaries, and that forgiveness does not mean returning the right to wound you. These lessons have made you more cautious. Yet I do not want them to close your heart. Keep your eyes clear while allowing your heart to remain tender. Observe carefully without living in suspicion. Love others without erasing yourself. This balance will help you enter the new chapter without repeating the old cycles. I also want you to stop asking why unjust people sometimes appear to prosper more easily. You see only a small part of their story. Do not use another person's outward appearance to conclude that your integrity is useless. Success is not measured only by money, praise, or position. Some possess many things yet have no peace. Some receive attention without knowing who they truly are. Keep your path clean, not because you need to prove that you are morally superior, but because you understand that what is built upon deception cannot produce lasting stability. What you are building may take longer, but when sincerity forms the foundation, it will stand more firmly when strong winds arise. My beloved child, do not continue living as though your prayers merely touch the ceiling and fall back down. I heard the words you spoke in anger, the questions you asked in despair, and the moments when you could say nothing at all. I do not require you always to be strong or always to know how to believe perfectly. I only ask you to remain honest. Speak to me when you are tired. Admit when you do not understand. Allow yourself to need help. Faith does not mean that you never waver. Faith is when, even in your wavering, you do not completely close the door to hope. I am Michael, and today I remind you that the new chapter began the moment you stopped believing that you were forgotten. Enter it calmly, without chasing signs or forcing the future to appear immediately. Do well what is already before you. Care for your health. Fulfill your responsibilities. Guard your peace. And continue nurturing the dreams you once hid away. The right doors will open when you are ready to walk through them without first seeking fear's permission. You do not need to see the entire road. Remain faithful to the nearest step, and each part will gradually be revealed. Your prayers have been heard, and the answer is coming, not only to change your circumstances, but also to show you how deeply you have grown throughout all the days when it appeared that nothing was happening. My beloved child, tonight carries a different rhythm, as though unseen winds have begun to change direction, and things that remained still for too long are rediscovering the path of movement. Certain parts of your life have been delayed. Some desires seem to have been buried, and there are broken pieces. You no longer possess the strength to gather. Yet, I want you to understand that not everything delayed has been lost. Some things are simply being returned to their proper order. Some doors had to close so that you would stop standing before a place that no longer belonged to you. Some things within you needed healing before anything new could remain securely. Tonight may not be the moment when everything changes instantly, but it may become the moment when you stop cooperating with despair and begin viewing the future with a different heart. Do not continue fighting for what requires you to lose your dignity in order to keep it. If a place continually forces you to prove your value, beg for love, or endure uncertainty, you need to reconsider whether it truly belongs in your life. Healthy love does not make you plead for kindness. A right relationship does not leave you wondering every day whether you are good enough. A suitable door does not require you to continually shrink yourself in order to fit within another person's narrow space. I am not telling you to become cold or give up too easily. I am asking you to stop spending all your strength trying to preserve what has repeatedly shown that it does not know how to preserve you. Do not remain endlessly silent merely because you fear that one step will disturb everything. Peace does not always mean stillness. There are times when you need to speak what must be spoken. Establish a boundary. End a season of waiting. Or walk away from a place that has kept you trapped in the same cycle for too long. I know you once called delay patience, self-neglect, sacrifice, and uncertainty, hope. Yet the new season will require greater honesty. You do not need to fight for what is right, but neither should you abandon responsibility for your own life. Walk with discernment, without haste, but do not allow fear to continue disguising itself as calmness. I, Michael, have watched the days when you struggled not to return to the past. There were moments when you believed no one could see the battles taking place within you. When you had to choose between replying to a message or remaining silent. Between returning because you were lonely or continuing forward through uncertainty. You were not always perfect, but you began recognizing what drained you and what brought peace. This awareness is an important sign. True transition does not begin when the outer circumstances change first. It begins when you no longer respond as the former version of yourself. An old door may still be there, but you no longer desire to enter it. A former person may still speak, but their words no longer possess enough power to make you lose your direction. What I require from you now is not a great declaration before everyone, only a sincere yes from the deepest place within your heart. Yes to healing. Yes to learning how to love without abandoning yourself. Yes to moving forward even though you cannot yet see the entire road. This yes is not a magical key that forces unseen powers to act according to your wishes. It is your agreement to stop resisting the goodness that is trying to be built. Some doors remain closed because you continue holding tightly to what is old. Some opportunities cannot remain because you still question whether you deserve them. When you say yes, you are giving yourself permission to live differently. The first transformation is often quiet. You may not see a great sign, but you will realize that you are sleeping more deeply, checking your phone less frequently, rehearsing fewer conversations that have never happened, and refusing to let another person's words determine the course of your entire day. Your mind begins to have room. Your heart stops chasing every small signal. You discover that you can sit quietly without feeling abandoned and walk alone without considering it a failure. These things are not loud, yet they are evidence that a new order is being formed. Peace does not always enter with a great sound. It often arrives when you stop opening the door to chaos. Others may also begin to treat you differently, not because some secret force compels them to change, but because the way you carry yourself has changed. When you no longer easily tolerate disrespect, those accustomed to controlling you will feel the distance. When you clearly express your needs without apologizing, those who only know how to take will become uncomfortable. When you stop chasing recognition, the praise or silence of others no longer governs your inner value. Some people will respect you more, others will leave. Both outcomes may form part of the necessary rearrangement. A new current of love may also begin to appear, but recognize it by consistency rather than intensity. Right love does not merely stir your emotions, it allows you to feel safe enough to be yourself. It does not arrive with dazzling promises and disappear when responsibility is required. It does not force you to guess, compete, or continually fear being replaced. This love may come through a new person, family, friendship, or through the way you are learning to treat yourself with kindness. Allow it to grow naturally. Do not immediately call every intense emotion destiny, but neither should you close your heart merely because you were once wounded. Wisdom does not close every door. It knows when and for whom the door should open. As the voice within you becomes gentler, you will recognize how long you have lived beneath your own judgment. You believed you had to do more, become better, and move faster before you could be loved or seen. Yet grace does not come because you have become perfect. It comes during the days when you are weary, when you still do not understand everything about yourself but have begun to be honest. What brought you to this moment may not be mere coincidence. Yet you do not need to turn it into an absolute prophecy. Perhaps this is simply the moment when the right words touched something you were finally ready to hear. That alone is enough to begin a change. I do not want you to fear that if you ignore one message, goodness will disappear. A true miracle is not so fragile that it can be lost because you need time to think or rest. But I do not want you to ignore the truth now appearing within you. If you know a relationship is draining you, stop pretending that you cannot see it. If you know you need help, do not delay merely because you are afraid of appearing weak. If you know the time has come to move in a new direction, do not wait for a perfect sign before beginning. What can disappear is not grace, but courage. When you continually postpone the right action, the miracle bearing your name may not be a sudden event descending from above. It may be the return of your self-respect. It may be a morning when you awaken and no longer desire to return to the person who hurt you. It may be a professional opportunity, an honest conversation, or a small decision that redirects your entire future. The wonder is often not that everything outside you changes instantly, but that you finally become calm enough to choose differently. When you change the way you live, what you attract, accept, and build also begins to change. Therefore, my beloved child, open that door, not in panic that goodness might slip away, but with a willingness to live in a manner worthy of the peace for which you have prayed. Say yes by releasing what has completed its season, caring for what is already in your hands, and moving toward what is healthier. Let that yes become visible in an ordered schedule, clear boundaries, keeping your promises to yourself, and refusing to return to places that only know how to hurt you. I, Michael, am not asking you to chase a miracle. I am reminding you to become someone with enough room for goodness to remain. Tonight may truly feel different, not because every problem has been completely resolved, but because you no longer see yourself as powerless before them. The winds change direction first within your heart. What was trapped begins to move when you stop holding it through fear. What was buried comes into the light when you dare to face it. What was broken can be rebuilt in a new form, wiser and more enduring. Lift your head, but remain humble. Open your hands, but preserve discernment. The new chapter does not require you to fight for entry. It only needs you to possess enough courage not to return to the old when the new door begins to open. My beloved child, you are now permitted to enter a deeper rest, a place where you no longer lie down with closed eyes while your heart remains awake, continually afraid that another storm will arrive without warning. This is not a temporary pause between two battles, nor is it a few minutes of silence before the old troubles return to knock upon your door. This is the moment when something within you begins to recognize that a season has truly ended. What once pursued you, exhausted you, and caused you repeatedly to forget your worth is gradually losing its authority. You no longer need to live as someone defending themselves against a blow that has not yet come. Breathe deeply, because you survived what once seemed capable of swallowing you, and you remain here with a wiser heart, clearer eyes, and a strength that no longer needs to display itself. I know you are not yet accustomed to peace. You lived in a state of vigilance for so long that whenever everything becomes quiet, you fear it is only the silence before another crisis. You do not allow yourself to rejoice completely because you fear joy will be taken away. You struggle to trust because you fear betrayal. Even while resting, your mind searches for another problem to solve. But, my child, your body and heart have carried this rhythm for long enough. You do not need to continue proving your strength by remaining tense and defensive. Your strength will now be revealed through the ability to lower your shoulders. Receive care, and believe that not every peaceful day conceals another storm. This does not mean that life will contain no more trials. There will still be days requiring patience, decisions demanding courage, and circumstances in which you must maintain strong boundaries. Yet the battle that once wore you down is no longer the same, because you are no longer the person you were before. Things that easily caused you to doubt yourself no longer possess the power to keep you down for long. Words that once stole your sleep may now cause you to pause and reflect. But afterward you will continue moving. People who once controlled you through guilt will discover that you have learned to say no without condemning yourself. The battle did not end because everyone changed. It lost its authority because you changed the way you respond. You did not escape that difficult season by accident. You endured longer than what tried to make you surrender. There were days when you did not feel victorious. You merely tried to complete one small task. Eat one meal. Answer one call. Or stop yourself from returning to the place that had hurt you. Yet those ordinary choices kept you connected to life. You outlived despair, stood longer than rejection, and continued believing beyond the voices that told you there was no future. What once appeared destined to become the ending is now only an old chapter, and you no longer need to carry it as proof that every good thing will eventually leave you. Now, I want you to see rest as part of restoration, not as a reward granted only after everything has been completed. You do not need to solve every problem before allowing yourself to breathe. You do not need to wait until everyone understands you, apologizes, or acknowledges what you endured before you have the right to move forward. Some endings do not come through another person's answer, but through your own decision that a former story will no longer be allowed to occupy the present. Some doors do not require one final conversation in order to close. They close when you stop returning. Stop searching for excuses, and stop placing hope in something that has repeatedly revealed its true nature. This moment matters not only because a new chapter is opening, but because you are entering a season of being recognized more accurately. During the years when no one applauded, I saw you choose truth when compromise appeared easier. I saw you continue doing what was right without an immediate reward. I saw you remain faithful to your calling even when the result seemed far away. You could have chosen an easier path by abandoning what you knew was right, but you did not. Sometimes you trembled. Sometimes your steps were slow. Yet you did not surrender all authority to fear. This faithfulness formed within you a quality that external recognition could never create. Recognition from others will come at the proper time. But do not allow it to become the only foundation of your worth. Someone may finally notice the work you have quietly done. A professional door may open. A new relationship may value what a former one ignored. These things may bring joy, but they are not what makes you deserving. You had value before your name was called, before an opportunity appeared, and before those who underestimated you changed their perspective. Recognition is merely the moment when the outer world begins to see what has been refined within you for a very long time. When that moment arrives, enter it humbly. Do not use your new light to shame those who once hurt you. Do not turn success into revenge. And do not spend your new chapter looking backward to see who regrets losing you. You have come too far to continue building the future around the reactions of the past. If someone refuses to celebrate you, allow them to remain responsible for their own choice. You do not need to diminish a blessing so that others feel comfortable. But neither do you need to display it in order to prove something. Receive it with gratitude. Manage it wisely. And use what you have to create a path for others who have also been overlooked. I also want you to understand that a season of recognition is not merely about other people noticing you. Sometimes the first recognition comes from within. When you finally acknowledge that you have tried very hard, traveled farther than you believed, and are no longer the powerless person you once were. You need to stop dismissing your progress merely because you have not yet reached the destination. Look at how you now protect your time. Distinguish love from manipulation. And rest before complete exhaustion. See how you explain yourself less to those determined to misunderstand you. Chase approval less frequently. and have begun trusting what you are building. These changes are not loud, yet they clearly testify that your life has changed direction. Within this new rest, allow yourself to relearn ordinary things. Learn to sleep without holding your phone while waiting for a message. Learn to enjoy a good day without wondering when something bad will happen. Learn to receive kindness without questioning every motive. Learn to sit still without believing that you are useless. You once connected your value with continually remaining busy, helping everyone, and enduring everything. Yet, I do not love you according to how exhausted you can become. You do not need to empty yourself in order to prove devotion. There are seasons of planting, seasons of harvest, and seasons when the soil itself must remain still in order to recover. If an old memory returns, do not assume that you have not healed. Restoration does not mean forgetting everything. It means remembering without being carried back into the former place. You may still feel sadness when thinking about someone, regret a lost opportunity, or experience pain when remembering words that once wounded you. Treat yourself gently. Do not turn one unsettled day into evidence that all progress has disappeared. You can rest, pray, speak with someone trustworthy, and then continue moving. One gust of wind cannot uproot a tree that has learned to grow deep roots. I, Michael, want you to enter the new season standing upright without becoming rigid. Lifting your head does not mean pretending that you no longer carry wounds. It means that you are no longer ashamed of your journey. You may carry traces of the past and still enter the future in peace. What hurt you taught you what must be protected, who deserves to draw near, and which boundaries must never be negotiated. Keep the lesson, but release the fear. Carry wisdom, but leave behind the need to remain constantly defensive. My beloved child, a season has truly ended when you no longer need to return to prove that it is over. You do not need one more argument, explanation, or dramatic sign. Peace is gradually becoming the answer. Let what has died remain behind so that what is new has enough room to take root. You are not merely entering another chapter. You are entering it as someone who knows who they are, understands what is worthy, and recognizes that rest is not weakness, but evidence that the old battle no longer governs them. Therefore, breathe out slowly and allow yourself to believe that you have passed through it. Not every difficulty has disappeared, but what once hunted your identity no longer possesses the right to define you. You survived longer than it expected, learned more than it wanted, and preserved the light it tried to dim. I saw you in the darkness, and I will also remain beside you as you learn to live in the dawn. Receive recognition when it comes, but first receive peace. It is a gift you do not need to fight for. Prove yourself worthy of, or seek anyone's permission to keep.